Beep, beep, beep. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and all is well. Or is it? This is the question that vexes us here at the court of the EDI Jester. Hello everybody and welcome. What have we got for you today? Well, the goose will be a cooking as we approach the festive season, which I absolutely despise. God, this nonsense and joyfulness. I can't be doing with it. I'd get rid of it all. It just gets in the way of commerce. Bloody Christmas. But then I haven't got kids, see. Can't be doing with it. So schools, do you want to talk about them? Let's talk about Gillian Keegan and schools. Before we do though, you can join now as a Jester, right? So if you want to join. We're having some fun. You get previews of videos, what's coming up, and some video curated output for members only. So that's quite interesting. And also you can now buy their coffees, and become a warrior teacher. Adverts going up shortly. So what have we got? Gillian Keegan seems to be doing something, which I find utterly astonishing, quite frankly. But then that's me. Let's see what you think, because I will expect that you will tell me in the comments in uncertain terms what your views are upon this latest news from the Daily Fail, which says that schools must always show sex education material to every parent who asks. Education Secretary Gillian Keegan warns. Right. Okay, so schools must show this, the PSHE, RSHE, whatever it's called, sex education material, to every parent who asks for it. The Education Secretary says. Gillian Keegan today, I say today, it wasn't today, it was the 23rd of October. That's not today, is it? I've lost count. She's told teachers there can be no more excuses in sharing relationships, sex and health education curriculum material with concerned parents. Schools often claim they cannot do so because of contract terms with their commercial suppliers, but the minister said copyright law should be no barrier to full disclosure. It's a very weird thing to use, copyright law, as an idea on this, but it's been thought about, hasn't it? I've said it before because I think it's important that you do. If you're the kind of person that would offer PSHE, the kind of company that would offer PSHE, as an external provider, it would be one that's used to working with organisations and stuff. Like I have always done it as an individual. I've used the old consultant over the years, but I've always done it as an individual. It's training with organisations and, companies and the public sector and the third sector, whatever it may be. And I've worked across all of them. And what's really weird about this is that they're quite happy to let them see the sort of base lesson plan, which would have what the topics are, what they're trying to achieve with that particular section of the teaching. But they don't want to show them the materials. And I find that really weird, right? Because anybody's welcome to look at my materials, okay? To look, by the way, not have. I can understand that bit, right? I can understand that bit. Look, but not have. Because at the end of the day, it's the individual who's teaching who will make all the difference. Most of the stuff that they're teaching is not like it exists outside of normality. Oh, hang on. It is like it exists outside of normality. The only reason that they could possibly not want to show it to children, to teach it to parents, is because there's something in there they don't want them to see. It's a really weird situation. I mean, we've been through this before, but it's going to raise its ugly head again. Get the parents in. Right, I'm going to do a parent session. I'll do it online, make it easier for everybody, so we can have up to 70. Come and watch, and I'll take you through it all. What a revolution that would be. But they just don't seem to want to do it. I'd do it. Come on, parents. Right, we're going to talk about, fannies and things. Yeah, willies. You ready for it? Right, here we go. There are two sexes. Right, and the parents going, oh, yeah, okay, this is fine. Not this lot, eh? So the parents will say in the room, wouldn't they? So what are you going to cover today before we start? Right, okay, well, a lot of this will be controversial for you. Why? Because we're going to tell your children they can be born in the wrong body, and we're going to tell your children that they can have that changed by surgery, and that it's trans joy, and that nothing will happen to them, despite the fact they're sterilised, can't have an orgasm, and a medical patient for the rest of their life. Any questions? You can, if you're in teams, you can see all the hands going up with the angry faces. That's the only reason I can think of why they won't do it is because that's going to happen. The government is acting, it says here, to guarantee parents fundamental rights to know what children are being taught in sex and relationship education. Today I am writing to schools and parents to debunk the copyright myth that parents cannot see what their children are being taught. Right. generally, right, if you're a bit of a Tory, right, which when it comes to the social things in life, I generally am not. I'm quite left on that, actually. You know, I don't care what you do. I'm just not left enough to want to give you an instruction booklet to do it. That I don't want to do. I don't want to control you, you know, and I want you to stay within the bounds of the law, for God's sake. I'm not, going to go just missionary position and try not to scare the horses. I'm not going to say that, right? But this is just an utterly ridiculous situation. So PSHE, which really is about preparing young people, children, to enter society as adults. That's what it's about, right? And I don't understand why the government is so unbelievably unwilling to go, right, here is a week's teaching on PSHE. Doesn't take any more because the parents should be doing most of it, right? Here's the week's PSHE teaching, designed by Iris Flippity Gibbet of X, who will now explain it to the country. And Iris Flippity Gibbet does one of these videos and then sticks it out on the government YouTube site and goes, here we are, here's the situation regarding PSHE. This is what they'll be taught. I don't understand why they don't standardise it. They don't want to be in the business of, they don't want to be in the business of usurping teachers, which is, I understand that. That's why the national curriculum is so open. And I understand why teachers would be angry if they did, because teachers are usually very creative people, you know, and they want to be able to create and teach. The problem we've got is they become stulted and nullified, haven't they, by this bunch of nutters and the stuff that they bought into. Come on, Gillian, give us a shout. I'll do your PSHE curriculum. I've got half a dozen other people that can help me. We'll put it together. You can have a look at it. We'll get a bit of feedback. We'll change what you don't like, put what you want in. Don't ask them. They don't care, right? They don't care. If they cared, they wouldn't be getting in third parties. Let them teach what they're supposed to teach. History, geography, you know, all that stuff. Let's put together the PSHE curriculum. What else do you need to tell them? You know, so we do a curriculum for year X, Y, Z. By the time they get to 16, they shouldn't need it at all, apart from, you know, how does a mortgage work and, you know, don't do drugs, the usual stuff, although you're supposed to do that earlier. Why do we need to have this so open? Well, it doesn't need to be marketised, and I don't think even most of the staunch Tories would tell you it would. It's a surreal situation with this for me. Campaigners have warned that schools are using copyright law imposed by third-party suppliers. This is nothing new, but the letter makes clear that companies won't be able to do that. They cannot use it. All right, okay, and they forbid schools from letting them tell them they can't share the materials. So, I don't know why schools are still doing business with these outside agencies. I don't know. I mean, there's a list of them now, isn't there? Campaigners say that it's not enough, right? Particularly Tanya from Safe Schools Alliance, and I'm with Tanya. It's frankly too little, too late. Far too little, too late. We need PSHE should be prescribed. I'm sorry, it's the only way to do it. It should be prescribed. That way you can keep gender, right? And polyamorous bisturbile toads that fiddle with their Shatner bassoon in public. We can keep them out, can't we? Imagine if the government did that, right? With immediate effect, all external PSHE providers will cease. And in 2 years' time, we will introduce a year's time, we will introduce a PSHE program for every school at every level across the country, be that private or public. That's what's needed now. But these gutless wonders won't do it. Or maybe I'm wrong. I wouldn't want them interfering generally. You know, obviously the national curriculum, they can choose and, you know, that's fine. But that's what we need to do. I'm sorry, it's the only way forward now, I think. I think Tanya from Safe Schools Alliance is right. But you let me know in the Dubras. Look, the link's in the thing, right, for the Daily Mail. You can have a look at Daily Fail. You can go and have a look for yourself and see what that torturous story rag is saying, okay? And I'll catch up with you later. Goodbye, folks.